Alright everybody, tonight we're going to get a little bit of a feeding frenzy video. I'm going to put some red mosquito larvae, or red bloodworms are usually sold as, down in the bottom of the tank. I have an elephantnose fish in here that is not in video right now, but hopefully he'll come out and get some of this. So I have Congo Tetras in this tank, and I have a couple of clown loaches, and everybody's going to go nuts when they see me doing this because they know the routine. So I try to get the worms down into the nooks and crannies on the bottom as best I can to provide some natural forage for my elephant nose. So in a moment you're going to see my PVC pipe as I feed it down to the bottom. This is not my own invention. This is a fairly common technique for getting food to the bottom of the tank. And then I just prepare my bloodworms in a small glass, and then you just pour it down the mouth of the tube at the top here, and then you finish it off by rinsing down a few more little glasses of water, and it will start blowing the worms right out the bottom there in a moment. So there they're starting. And that will ensure plenty of worms get down in the bottom of the tank and get down into the, underneath the leaves and into the harder to get to spots, which will provide a little more chance of the elephant nose finding them rather than the Congo Tetras just devouring them. And normally we have an almost immediate feeding frenzy because they seem to know which end of the tube to go to. So here comes my Synodontis now. He figured it out. So once he starts moving around and kicking it up, it will not take the Congos long to figure out what's going on, and pretty soon we're going to have the feeding frenzy I keep talking about. The elephant nose is not shy. He will get right in there in the mix with all these other larger, more aggressive fish once he figures out that the worms are down there. It seems to take him a while. For being an intelligent fish, they're actually a fish called a mormarid, and the mormarids are a unique fish. They're very interesting in their own right. They're electric fish, and they're very intelligent. Yet this one never seems to catch on to what's going on with the feeding. I mean, I'm watching him now, and he's way off camera. He's way down at the other end of the tank. But here he comes. He's making his way down there now. So maybe he'll learn. He's still fairly young. I've only had him for a couple of months now. So maybe as time goes on, he'll get used to the routine. I don't do this often because I don't like loading the tank up with such high protein food on a regular basis. Not only is it not, very good for the fish to load them up on such high protein, but it's also not good for the bioload on the tank. It really does blow it up. One thing I do is I make sure I rinse the bloodworms. I thaw them out in a glass of water and let the worms sink to the bottom. I pour off as much of the water as I can, refill it. I let the worms settle back down, and then repeat that process until the water's nice and clean and clear. And that way you're not introducing all of the binding agents that the worms are held together with into your tank. That's usually guar gum, and if you're pouring the guar gum into your tank, it's not necessarily bad for anything, but it can blow up your phosphates, and once your phosphate levels start rising, your algal growth and unwanted type growth, cyanobacteria, etc., in the tank can start taking off with higher levels of phosphates. So it's always a good idea, if you just want to keep your organics to a minimum, to rinse off any of your frozen prepared foods before you introduce them into the tank, because they will be prepared with stuff that will actually increase your phosphates. So I'm really surprised we didn't get much more of a feeding frenzy from the Congos in there. So I suppose I was a little too effective. Normally I feed down at the other end of the tank into a larger cave area, and I think the current from my spray bar spreads the worms around a little faster, and that's the way the Congos go after them. So I did a pretty good job of getting them down into the harder to get to spots, and that way that ensures my elephant nose will get plenty to eat tonight. So I'm going to wrap it up and call that a video, since all the action seems to be pretty much over. Hope you enjoyed. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. That way you won't miss anything. I do a lot of little spur of the moment type videos like this, and it looks like my Congos are getting into spawning condition again, so I look forward to the next few days. We should be able to see some good videos of my Congos spawning. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you real soon on the next one.